Anybody ever heard of Pythagorean theorem?
Yeah. Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, that was Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, yeah. We did that last year.
So, ours Pythagorean theorem will look a little different, but that's okay. So I'm sure you guys have done this before, but make sure. Oh, and make sure you guys have Desmos because you're gonna need it today. Make sure I have Desmos.
Desmos.
Yeah. Okay, and make sure you got headphones out.
We need headphones?
Turn off your YouTube's headphones out of your ears.
Beto.
Beto, headphones out, please.
Carl, somebody's writing
Yeah,
this.
Beto. I didn't see that was out first. Pick up my jacket.
Gangster Goki, I need one too.
Getting this.
Gangster.
Gotta dive for those, Magi. Dive for them.
You can
We have to put away our wristbands too.
Here, Gangster Goki.
I gotta put away my earbuds.
What the recyclable earbuds?
Okay, so we are going to look at the Pythagorean theorem, which says if you have a right triangle, Pythagorean theorem. So Pythagoras is actually a Greek guy.
Is this a new one?
Greek guy? Yep.
Like, there could be like a main.
Take the Pythagorean take the Pythagorean away.
Man. Okay. So, Pythagorean theorem says in a right triangle, anybody know what a right triangle means?
That triangle.
It has a 90-degree angle.
That's a 90-degree angle.
It's facing right.
Right triangle means
I was that smart like Moses.
means you got a 90 degree, which, don't forget, in triangles, see the little box right here? Yeah, that means 90.
And that kind of looks like maybe a 91 degree.
It's not because it's got a box.
Not about that one that you made
All
right
right.
there.
And in Pythagorean theorem, the sum of the squares of the legs is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So just a fancy way of saying, if A and B are legs, and C is always the hypotenuse, A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Our legs.
Yeah. So, when we look at legs, what I mean by leg is, or I guess let me back up. When I look at the hypotenuse is always the longest. Hypotenuse is always the longest side. Legs are just not the longest. So, the hypotenuse, your C, is always the longest. Your legs are just not the longest. So if I'm going to look at this triangle over here on the right, C is my hypotenuse because it's the longest, and then A and B are legs. But the order, A and B, they don't really matter which is which. You could flip it around and you could call this A or this B, that doesn't matter. Only thing that really matters is C.
Legs.
So C is always your hypotenuse, A and B are legs. And your Pythagorean theorem says if you take the legs and you square them, it equals the hypotenuse squared.
Oh, yeah, we're high on fire.
Yes, everybody's heard that joke. Not 6th graders.
But it's funny.
So we're going to practice using our Pythagorean theorem. Because with our Pythagorean theorem, we could use that to find missing sides. So for example,
No. The closed only.
not the nicest ones.
Huh?
Not the nicest ones.
You get the crusty ones.
I don't know which one those
The
ones
pathetic
are.
ones.
Those
Not-
are ones
not
that
the big ones.
The ones
There's ones with no bar and there's this one.
The ones
Yeah,
that
the ones with no bar.
No bar.
The
Yeah,
ones
that's
that
the-
with coupons.
Crusty ones. There you go. You can use those. They're real nice. They got lots of heart.
Little pond.
They try. Not that one, the other one. Okay.
Fixing it, Mr.
So we're going to use our Pythagorean
You
theorem
can
here,
leave now.
and we're going to find side C. So Pythagorean theorem is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So on this triangle over here, I'm going to find my C because I'm missing my C. So A and B are going to be these two legs here, and I'm just going to go A and B. It doesn't really matter which is which for legs as long as C is your hypotenuse. So to use my Pythagorean theorem, instead of A, I'm going to go 4, and then squared, plus B is 2, 2 squared, and it's going to equal C squared. And we can find this missing side on our triangle just by going through and solving it for C.
What the?
16 plus 4.
C squared.
Oh.
So, we got our Pythagorean theorem set up. We're going to go through and solve. So 4 squared is 16,
answer is
plus 2 squared is 4.
27.
That's going to equal C squared.
27.
And we're going to keep going. 16 plus 4 is 20.
6.
It's going to equal C squared.
Then 20 plus
But
7.
I'm not done yet.
27.
I'm not done yet.
Square 20.
Yeah.
Well, not quite.
You gotta add 7.
Not square. The opposite.
It's gonna equal 27.
Square root.
Okay.
So,
difference.
C is not by itself yet. We have to get rid of the square. And to do that, we are going to square root both sides. So I'm going to square root 20, whatever that is going to equal C. So I'm going to go in here to Desmos. I'm going to get my square root.
472135955.
And for all of your stuff today, especially in my examples, you're going to get decimals. So give me 2 decimal places. C is 4.47.
Can we just go to round up to the tens?
No.
I want 2 decimals.
4.47.
So 3 numbers.
At least.
Actually, Goki, technically 4.472135955 would be more.
That's true. But do you want to write all those down?
Of course.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think so. All right.
I want to quick it.
So we're going to do this next one as another example. So Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to go, instead of a, it's going to be 1 squared plus another 1 squared, and it's going to equal c squared. So 1 squared is what, Majay?
Huh?
What's 1 squared? And I got to plus another 1, right? Which is going to equal c squared.
27.
1 plus 1 is 2. 2 is going to equle c squared.
Then we add 2.
And Ruben, how do I get rid of the square right here?
Square root.
Yep, I'm the square rooted.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, all in that class.
Crack it open cans in class.
Alright, you can do that, but after the lesson. Because you're not taking notes right now.
Yeah,
nothing.
silly. Nothing on that paper, boy.
Yes, I do.
Not for
Sorry,
this
was that
one.
even a brand?
Alright, so we have to square root 2,
I got it at the.
and we're going to get square root of 2 equals c. So I'm going to go back in here to
Made it
Desmos,
myself.
Not even a brand.
and we're going to get 1.41 equals c.
Is that they call their brand?
1.41 equals c.
Oh.
Alright, your guys' turn. You're going to do this one on your own.
No.
I want you to find c. First in class problem.
Dude.
Alright, there you go. First in class problem, find
How the hell did I
c.
get that?
buffering. Not the wishy. She can tell you that. Man, he was a nerd. Okay, that was a nerd.
Hey Jay, shush man.
What, did we do 74?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So like that. And then
Sure.
submit.
Hey, that's pretty good.
You
I was
like that
going
song.
wrong.
That's one of those guys.
Yes.
Yeah, it's stuck in my head.
You wrote it down
It's like,
there.
it's like have you ever seen SpongeBob?
Of course.
Look at the chickens.
Okay,
this
let's
for?
try it.
Okay, what is this?
Yeah,
for?
it's like, it's not a rip in my
Those
filter,
are, I haven't put them in yet.
but there's like the two worm.
Six different, yeah.
It'll be like 35.
Okay, I don't like it.
So we're doing 74 right now?
Oh,
74.
49.
Okay, do you watch SpongeBob?
Dude, yeah.
Not a long time.
I used to.
What?
Okay, when were you born?
50.
88.
88. You're not that. You're not that old.
You're
You're not that young.
Thanks.
Square.
Thanks, Mason. Makes me feel good right here.
Mason was born in 75.
I'm gonna say old.
Oh.
Mason was not born in 75. Unless that's your dad.
No, what's the 75?
That's what you said.
I meant to
I wish I was
say
born in
97.
2000.
My bad. Okay.
Hey, that sounds more like it.
That'd be like a perfect century,
Alright, I'll give you 30 more
dude.
seconds.
Born on New Year's Eve.
Then we're going over this one. You guys are helping me.
That's like a rare single.
75. What the? That's not the one. That's what my
It's like
mom.
doing
That's
YouTube
why I-
things.
Oh!
65.
Moses, what'd I say, man?
Dude, I'm done with my freaking question.
Okay, then start us off. How do we set this up?
You put 7 squared times
Next door.
4.
Okay, 7 squared, then what?
Times, times.
4 squared.
Plus 4 squared.
Moses, you're high on five.
Plus 4 squared. And it's going to equal c squared. Okay, let's keep going through it. Jace, help me out. What's 7 squared?
That's 49.
Okay, plus what's 4 squared?
JC.
Ruben, what's 4 squared? Okay, and it's going to equal
Thought I didn't have it.
c squared. No, you were just talking, so I called on you.
65.
It's going to equal 65. So 65 is going to equal c squared. And Kinsey, how do I get rid of the squared?
Ooh, I already said it.
Say it again so I can hear you.
0.06.
No, how do you get rid of it?
Oh, you square root it.
Square root.
No, yeah, silly go.
And you get 8.06 equals c. Alright, not bad, not bad.
Why the
Okay.
extra step though?
That looks like a smiley face. Say
Why
it.
why square the
It's
C?
more of a meh.
Smiling.
Aww.
taste it.
That looks like an alien.
Okay, so, the other kind of problem we're gonna
Dude, are you
do,
kidding me?
it's still Pythagorean theorem, it's just gonna look a little
Pythagorean
different.
theorem.
Moses,
What's that
put
Korean?
away, man, we're getting back started on Moses.
What,
Okay.
Junior?
So we are still using Pythagorean theorem, but this one is a little different.
What did you just say?
We're still using Pythagorean theorem.
Like number 2.
His mom's
Alright, so on this problem, I have 7 and I have 40,
Why
but
7 4?
on this problem, what is going to be C? Which one of these is going to be C? The 7 or the
40.
40? The 40.
27.
So I'm going to fill this one in,
47.
and it doesn't matter which is A and which is B. It doesn't really matter which is which, as long as C is my hypotenuse. So I'm just going to go A and
Oh
B.
my god.
The order doesn't matter. So instead of A squared, I'm going to go X squared
Can't do that.
plus 7 squared instead. And it's going to equal 40 squared. I got this set up.
You just messed up my rhythm.
So I got it set up. I still have to go through and solve. And before I do anything else, I'm going to square the 7 and the 40. Because if you don't, you can confuse yourself and get the wrong answer. So I got X squared plus 7 squared is 49.
1,600.
And it's going to equal 1,600.
Yes.
And after I've gone through and squared these, Greg, what should I do next?
Yeah, Greg.
Filthy.
What should I, what?
Subtract 49.
Yep, we
You
should
have
subtract
different
49.
ones?
Oh god, it scared me.
Do I have different ones? No. Those are the only ones you can use.
Came out of the dark.
Did Pierce trade
These are
you?
my other ones.
Huh? Did Pierce trade you?
She said I had to use these crusty ones.
Oh, that's messed up.
Hey, we got a minus 49 on both sides.
She probably like traded her Mars if
Yeah. Spears probably.
It's fine, man. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we got a minus 49 on both sides, and we're going to get 1551, I think. Yep. And then we have to go through and square root like normal. So this is really similar, but you got to be careful and make sure you fill it out right. Because it's not 7 squared plus 40 squared. It's x squared plus 7 squared equals 40.
She was false with this.
What?
Here.
And we square root it.
She cut
Let's see, we're going to square root of 1551. Square root 1551. And we're going to get 39.38. 39.38. Alright, you guys want to do another one together? You want to do the second one on your own?
That's what
Alright.
I feel.
Alright, next in class problem.
Jesus.
Let me get you some random numbers going here.
It's gonna be random.
7.
40. These are all
20.
random.
20. Oh.
Alright.
Why is it always 7?
X.
Why wasn't it 20?
So find
I
x.
feel like she was waiting for
I can just put down 27.
What is stressful?
No, man,
Right,
you
it's
gave me.
there.
It's not. It's the wrong answer to
I
everything.
can't wait.
You're gonna make me have a counselor from Stress You.
I'm not even gonna throw a big.
It's not that bad, man.
What made you even think of that song?
I don't know.
Bro, honestly, I think you play with
Chicken Little.
Do you know who JC is?
I got you.
No.
From Lapwood?
No.
Do you? Tyson. Yeah, Tyson.
Yeah, 71 squared. Kidding me?
I gotta find out
Art
what that song is.
system never exists.
Bulky. I can.
I don't know, I feel like when I don't listen to music and I do work, it sucks. Yeah, when I, no, it sucks if I don't listen to music and I'm doing
Ruben, shut up.
You know what? I'm not
It is smooth. Real smooth.
Damn.
You just got served.
What?
How did
You
you
know
get
what?
to that?
Now I stabbed myself in the eye.
Have to share these.
What, Jay? Every film where?
Oh, you.
I got 27 goalkeeper, right?
No, man, not even close.
Dude.
I'll give you about another minute. Then you guys help me out again. What?
in your head. There you go, little buddy.
I really hope it tastes really gross.
Is this right?
No, I want to play with
Do I have to put somewhere?
No, because you already took care.
This is
Yes.
our class is like the office. That'll have like a
It was good enough for you.
some kind of online.
Well, I am recording everything, so.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I'm
like-
scared.
But not on a camera, Goki.
Yeah.
You gotta get a
I'll
camera.
go to Mr. Goki.
No, that won't be me. I'll be me.
Go get that creepy, bro. Then you'll watch it
We'll
late
have
at
one
night.
again.
I've worked with teachers who have like cameras in the back that record it.
Really? That's
Like
kinda
with video.
That's really weird.
Are they still your best
It's not
friends?
legal.
They were like people I
They
worked
don't have their
with. program.
permission. Goki.
Were they your best friends, Koki?
No, man.
Gangster Koki.
Alright, let's go through this one. Kids,
Goki,
set,
no.
set it up for us.
Okay, I'm not
X
finished,
squared
bro.
Yes,
plus
sir.
7 squared
Let
equals
me
40
give it to
squared.
me.
Probably hearing about
X
this.
squared plus 7 squared equals 7.
Oh, wrong one. I read wrong one. 71 squared.
Yeah, 71 squared. Okay. And then we're gonna go through and Moses, what do I get after I do these squareds?
Take me, take me.
You get 49.
Yep.
And what you say no?
27.
I said yeah.
Oh, and
27.
No.
5,041.
What?
5,000.
41.
No, say it really slow.
5,000, 0,
Okay. And what are we doing after that, Magi?
Huh?
What are we doing after that?
You're gonna minus the 49.
Yep. What do we get after we minus 49?
You're gonna get like 4,992. I Desmos it, okay?
I'll trust you. This time.
It's right. It's
This
right.
time.
Is that what you're gonna do? Is you want to square root the rest?
Yeah, we're gonna square it. And what do we get? We
You're gonna
get somebody
get
else.
x equals
Gabe, what do you get? Nope, nope. Gabe.
Seven-
Gabe.
70.65.
70.65. Very nice.
I got 27.65.
Yeah, you were wrong. Okay, one more quick thing, and that is it.
Get it.
So, last thing we are looking at is not really any different. So, we're going to see which sets of lengths
Could be
By
the
just
side
looking at
length,
that,
the right
it gave me
triangle.
to be the side lengths of a right triangle. So,
6 inches, 24
what
inches
this
per
question
head.
is asking.
Look how hard that
Hey,
is.
hush, we got one last slide, then we're done. I need it quiet.
Hey. 24 inches.
I was.
Magi. Okay, For our last thing here, we're gonna find out which of these sides could be a right triangle.
C.
Or another way of saying it is which one of these make a Pythagorean triple. Now, if you have three sides of a triangle that are all whole numbers and they work with Pythagorean theorem, that's called a Pythagorean triple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these and I'm going to plug A, B, and C in, and I'm going to see if it equals each other. So, for example, in part A, I have 6, and then 24, and then 25. I'm going to have, or which one of these has to be C?
10. Oh, 25.
25 has to be C, right? A and B don't really matter as long as C is the longest. So I'm going to fill in my Pythagorean theorem with these numbers, and I'm going to see if it works. So I'm going to go 6 squared plus 24 squared equals
25 squared.
25 squared. So I'm going to plug it in and see if this works out, yes or no. So 6 squared is 36 plus, I don't know what 24 squared is off the top of my head. 24 squared is 576.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
And I want to see if that equals 25 squared,
27.
which is 25 squared.
2700.
Let's see, 625.
That's not gonna work.
Let's see. What's 36 plus 576, Majay?
27. Come on, go, Kevin. I don't know it off the top of my head.
What's 576 plus 30?
Hold on. Just let me do it.
That's
106.
That's 36.
106 plus freaking 6.
612.
Yep, 612.
Told you.
612. 612 doesn't equal 625, right? So this is not a Pythagorean triple. So my final answer on this one is just no.
Okay,
It's
I'm
not a
lost.
Pythagorean
I
triple.
told you from the top, go.
Alright, we're going to skip B right
I'm
here. I'm going to do
lost.
C. Okay, so I'm going to fill in A, B, and C in Pythagorean theorem based on these numbers right here. It gave us a C. And I'm going to see if it makes a Pythagorean triple.
C works.
So, on this one, I have A, I have B, C is always the longest side.
Always.
Always. So I'm going to go 10 squared plus 24 squared, and see if that equals 26 squared. So 10 squared is 100. 24 squared we just did right here. That is 576.
Slow down.
I want to see if that equals 26 squared.
Really, what's going on here?
Don't too fast.
676.
Oh man.
Okay, so 10 squared is 100. 24 squared is 576.
Funny.
26 squared is 676. 100 plus 576 is 676. Does 676 equal 676?
It works.
Yep.
I told you it worked.
I
called it from the
told
beginning.
you it was gonna be C. I'm
I called it from the
Yes.
beginning.
So 10 and 24 and 26 are a Pythagorean triple because they make a right triangle and none of them have decimals.
Boom.
So there's not really a ton of these. Well, there are, but they tend to repeat.
Is there gonna be one on a test like this?
Oh yes.
Just gave him an idea.
I'll
dude.
I'll just guess
test.
there.
Alright, your guys' turn. Let's get part D, and I want you to do the one in the box. Do 5, 7, and 8 make a Pythagorean
Don't pick
triple.
me.
No,
So your final answer is either going to be yes or no, but you need to show some work.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Dude, that shot off my pen like a sniper.
If it didn't hit anything, it's not a sniper.
Well, it's like
You're a
if I
sniper.
were to accidentally
Even
shoot a
snipers
sniper.
miss sometimes, Donkey.
Goki,
It must have
what
bumped
kind
on
of
my
game are
leg.
you in?
It had,
What?
it had,
It's an uncalibrated scope. My bad.
it had bullet drop.
Red, Goki, where?
It's like
red
it's raining,
wine.
right?
Okay.
It was raining.
You took my water.
Yeah, it just slipped.
I'll show you sniper.
You okay there, Major?
Huh?
You okay there, man?
Yeah.
Look at my eye.
A little bit too many cheeseburgers.
Putting the cheese at the problem.
I called it, didn't I? It doesn't.
It's so funny. I remembered to laugh.
Yes, you did.
Oh man, that was a knee slapper.
I wish I could remember how to do this.
Fill in A, B, and C in Pythagorean theorem.
Okay, you can wear glasses.
No man, I don't like glasses.
Oh man, your eyes are really red now.
Alright, there you go.
Almost.
That's something in it. I got
Then
something
you'd be
in
a
it.
hardcore
Alright.
I
nerd.
got 27.
Okay, are you high on pocket?
No.
Yeah, it's
Well,
right
your eyes
Well,
are
I got 27, right?
Okay, just start crying. No, blink your eyes.
It's okay.
I better look at your guys' grades.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
It's good you're racist because we're native.
I need to put some limit on that burn, right?
It's got
No, man.
3rd-degree burn.
Because you don't turn anything in.
Luis, those guys love to fly.
Alright, I'll give you 30 more seconds, then we're going over it, and then that's it.
Wait! Hold on. You're rushing me.
Where is 5, 7, and 8?
Oh my god. The numbers, Ruben. The numbers that we...
Hey, when you laugh like that, it makes me want to hurt myself. Luis, Jace, when you say that, it makes me want to hurt myself.
I'm just putting this away.
You got lost in the desert.
I love myself.
Alright,
There's no more Wi-Fi.
last thing, let's go through this last one, then we're done. Okay, so on this one, Magi, set it up for us.
I did it,
No.
Set it up for us.
No.
I'm gonna be here forever, man.
The answer is no.
No, set up the work.
You put A as C.
Yep.
There you
So it's equal
go.
8 squared, right?
A and B are 5 and 7.
Yep.
It doesn't matter, but I'm just gonna
Okay.
put
So 5 squared plus 7 squared. Jace, what's 5 squared plus 7 squared?
27.
What?
What's 5 squared plus 7 squared?
That's 7-4.
7, 4. And what's 8 squared?
That's 64.
Yep. Are they equal each other?
So it's a maybe.
It's a nope.
I'm not gonna know.
He did a little pop with his nose.
Look at his
I can
feet.
do it. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
You put yes.
It is not. Although it does kind of look like that. But right.
74.
No, here. There you go.
45.
Yes.
How do you get 74?
Alright, that's it. Start on your exit ticket. If you haven't yet, I will turn on Socrative and I'll put your homework on Google Classroom.
All three of them?